November 5th, 1991. In Ormoc City, Leyte, the morning feels routine. Vendors set up near the roads, students move in small groups, workers head out, some close to the river because that's where life and livelihood usually are. Overhead is Tropical Storm Uring, international name Thelma, and many people don't treat it like the worst kind of danger. But the rain is stubborn. It's the kind that doesn't just wet the streets, it soaks the mountains. Upstream, water quietly gathers in the Anilao and Malbasag river systems, building pressure out of view. Then the sound of rainfall changes, like the sky is pouring buckets, and the river begins to feel wrong. What struck Ormoc wasn't a slow, creeping flood. It was a flash flood, fast and violent, rushing into the city like a sudden release. People who were watching the rain suddenly saw something darker charging downriver. Water mixed with mud, silt, and debris, turning the flow heavier and far more destructive. In seconds, streets became channels. In minutes, low-lying areas were swallowed. Some tried to run uphill, some grabbed children, some held onto posts and concrete edges, anything that looked solid. A flash flood steals the one thing humans rely on during emergencies: time. And on that day, Ormoc didn't get enough of it. So how did a storm become a citywide tragedy? One answer is geography. The watershed above Ormoc can funnel intense rainfall into rivers that rise quickly. Another answer is force. This wasn't only water. It carried sediment and debris, hitting like moving concrete. And there's a harder, long-term layer. Ormoc's own historical record notes, illegal logging and kangin were blamed after the disaster, activities that can strip uplands and make runoff faster and more dangerous. Then there's exposure. When homes and livelihoods sit near river systems, the first impact is often direct and deadly. By the time the water tore through key areas, the city was already fighting a disaster too big to outrun. When the surge finally eased, the city was left in mud, debris, and shock. Families searched for names. Rescuers moved through wreckage where streets used to be. And then the casualty numbers began to settle, though they vary depending on what's counted as confirmed deaths versus missing. A Relief Web disaster summary reported an official record of 3,840 deaths plus about 2,000 missing. Relief Web Ormoc's own city history page records 4,122 deaths and 3,000 missing persons, noting the missing were never found and are presumed dead, along with massive housing loss and property damage. Either way you read it, the truth is the same. Thousands of lives were erased in a single day, and Ormoc became a warning written in water. After the tragedy, Ormoc's prevention story became just as important as its disaster story, because the goal was simple: never again. A major shift was infrastructure. A JICA-supported flood control effort followed studies in the early 1990s, and from 1997 to 2001, the project built 3 slit dams and 4 bridges, widened rivers, improved embankments, and strengthened drainage, specifically to reduce debris-driven flooding and keep water flow manageable. But prevention wasn't only engineering. The work required relocating people from high-risk riverbank zones. The city acquired resettlement areas and provided compensation and basic services so families could move to safer ground. And the protection had to be maintained. Local teams monitored structures, cleared channels, and addressed encroachment near flood control facilities, because a system only works if it stays clear and respected. If this Ormoc City flood story hit you, and you want more real Philippine history, weird facts, and science-backed health stories in the same style, subscribe for weekly uploads. Drop a like and comment what topic you want next, and I'll turn it into an animated comic-style short documentary.